Check out my Patreon for many mods collection and load order services. Learn more in description or in the pinned comment. Welcome back inside the Hidden Hotbox Gamer, I'm Chris, and this is Skyrim Special Anniversary Edition Plus, ultra gameplay based load order, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One. This is a very complex mods collection featuring 150 mods to flesh out, expand, improve and refine everything already included in Skyrim Anniversary Edition and Skyrim Special Edition. There will be a lot of details that you cannot miss through the video, as you may risk to make an incomplete overhaul without all the proper information and settings. So, as always, all the mods are linked down below in the correct load order, this time in the pinned comment as there isn't enough space in description. With this being said, the format for this video is going to be a little bit different in order to avoid making it an hour and a half long. Also, I have left an uncut gameplay demo for this load order without any commentary in description. Let's begin. This first section of the video describes what you're going to get with all these mods installed in your game. The next section instead will explain details about the most important mods. Just one clarification. For this load order I focused on gameplay and content without compromise, so there was no space for graphics at all. If you are looking for graphics without compromise, there is another video for you in the top right corner. Now, this is a comprehensive list of what this Xbox load order offers you. An outstanding amount of bug fixes and quality of life improvements for an overall better experience. Hundreds of new weapons to find or forge. Proper rewards for your efforts in the game. Fresh new UI and loading screens. Every item is craftable, including new items like a bestiary for each creature, cloaks and many pouches. Many special use items or gameplay mechanics absent in vanilla Skyrim. Better character building and definition. Better AI for NPCs inside and outside combat. Refined and more engaging combat. Way more spells and magic, sometimes with special features included. A perfected and refined stealth system with new strategies and opportunities for theft. A more interesting and improved College of Winterhold. Better animations for almost everything. More encounters with more people and more or new creatures. Improved dragons variety and combat AI. More agency and impact for the Civil War questline. Tavern minigames and a captivating collectible cards game. Integration for less present races like Argonians and Khajiit. All of this with very fast loadings. This load order was only possible to be this way without any graphic mod, because all the 150 Xbox mods bring something fresh to make Skyrim more fun, and for this project specifically would have been a shame to steal a spot from any of these mods for a graphic mod. Okay, now we are going to go through the specifics of some mods which you must know before starting the game. Oh, before I forget, this load order is strongly suggested for a new character. Mandatory mods to install, an official Skyrim Special Edition patch, cheat room for reasons of bug fixing, and also XP32 maximum skeleton plus realistic ragdolls and wars. You must set the LB button for stealth and the left stick for sprint from the game's settings. The mod Control gives you 8 D-pad shortcuts and other button combinations, which are the following: LB and start quick saves, LB and back quick loads, LB and Y is the new combo to open the favorites menu instead of D-pad up, LB and B for inventory, LB and A for map, LB and X opens magic, and finally LB and left stick activates autorun. Once you open up the favorites with LB and Y, you can hold one of the D-pad buttons or LB and one of the D-pad buttons to assign that one combination of your choice to the favorite item highlighted in that moment. During the Civil War questline, you will be able to attack all the old capital cities. If you happen to lose a battle, don't bother to find who to report the defeat to, because there is nobody to report that to. The failed quest will disappear after some time and reappear in the future because you need to conquer all of Skyrim to complete the questline. After the Civil War is over, you will still find some garrisons and patrols of the defeated faction around Skyrim because they will keep fighting guerrilla style. And also, after about one in-game month, the damage to the cities will be repaired. You have one in-game year to defeat Alduin before he destroys the world. It is still a lot of time, I made it in one in-game month, kinda rushing to test the load order. You can't start the Dragonborn or Dawnguard DLCs until you defeat Alduin. During the two Alduin encounters, a bug keeps him invincible, so the only way to defeat him is to make it not invincible with the cheats. Go under Alteration and choose Cheat Spell Options to manage what you want the cheat spell to do. Cast Cheat Spell Options and select Cheat Menu 4, then choose Set Essential Off. Now, go into Magic Alteration and select the cheat spell, to then cast it at Alduin. You don't need to strike him perfectly, but you need to be somewhat precise. You can now normally shout Alduin down from the sky, and if he insists being invincible, cast another cheat spell at him. The effects should be the same without changing its options again, if not, you know how to do it. You need the right tools to craft. For example, you need a dagger for the tanning rack or a hammer for the forge. You need to speak to a person before you know their name. After fighting, blood and dirt will remain on you and worsen your performance in combat. Luckily, under magic and powers there is a wash and rinse section. Alternatively, you can remove some dirt and blood in reverse, but it is not as effective. Werewolves can now loot. As a side effect, you can use the control hotkeys to equip your favorites, but the author suggests not to do so. After you're finished with the transformation into werewolf or vampire lord, you will need to set up again the dodging settings we will see later. In case you forget and get stuck mid-dodge, it's enough to lower your weapon and you will not be stuck anymore. Your horse cannot die and handles much better. You can try to break locks by hitting them. Opposed to vanilla Skyrim, you can spend months and even a year in prison. When this happens, the loadings will flash, but it is supposed to do so, because the game is simply loading multiple times. Being in prison also lowers your skills in the perk trees. You can hide inside barrels and other ideal furniture for the action. Keeping Dragon Souls grants positive passive effects. You can donate Dragon Souls at High Hrothgar to increase your attributes. There is a special doorbell for when you want to enter inside the College of Winterhold. The economy is dynamic and prices will vary over time. In fact, in a few isolated cases, the price displayed was not correct. For example, if you want to buy a light horse at Rorikstead, the lower price is not 1000 septims, but 2500 septims. There are flying spells that have peculiar controls to learn. This one bought from Cancelmo works like this: right stick up or down for elevation, LB to move forward and down simultaneously, right and left trigger to turn. I suggest to go up very much or you risk to crash. Do not talk to Delphine before picking up the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller, or you trigger a bug. To prevent her respawn, there is a special spell for you. The first time you go to Riverwood, go to her and hit her with a spell called Emerald Mark that you will find under Alteration. If anything happens, you can respawn her with a companion spell called Emerald, Recall and Teleport that is found under Conjuration. Select Teleport and Delphine comes back. There are one mod exclusive to Special Edition and one mod exclusive to Anniversary Edition, so that you have one mod slot left for the previous mod. To craft toys, you need the book found to the right at the entrance of Riverwood's Trader. To play a triple tried card game, you need at least the board, which can be bought at any general goods vendor like Bellator in Whiterun, and you also need 5 cards minimum. Also, Arganeer has a very strong deck, be careful! Wearable lanterns are not the same item as the usual vanilla Skyrim lanterns, and they have a few settings that you can edit. I personally kept everything default for convenience. I bought my travel lantern for Bellator in Whiterun. It is classified as clothing. You can choose a god, and the more you pray to them, the more they will help you. NPCs behave more realistically inside and outside combat. You can ask guards for directions, which is also useful distraction. People run away from dangers. Guards attack criminals if they attack you. And the animals are not aggressive monsters, but behave accordingly to their species. Werewolves will spawn across Skyrim. There is a big variety of dragons and attacks are a little less frequent. There are random centaurs that live in the nature and imperial centaurs. These last ones have a small bugged out texture unfortunately, but they are still fun to play against, so I kept the mod since we are not going for perfect graphics, but for more content and better gameplay. There are kids and also undead skeletons for Argonians and Khajiit, as well as many Khajiit variants. You can travel across Skyrim in carts like in the opening cutscenes, it is optional. The walls with the power words for shouts have been relocated so that they are not locked behind quests and also add something fresh to Skyrim on Xbox. You can study magic at the college to add passive effects that augment your power in a specific magic school, and you can also train with weapons at dummies. A good place to do it is Skyhaven Temple, and without an exploit that I will explain in a second, the dummies in Whiterun, Solitude, Riften, Markarth and Windhelm would not work. With open cities, you can enter all the cities I just mentioned without any loadings. Dragons can attack the cities, and you can even enter inside them on horse. There are many more new map markers, but the new ones added inside the cities of open cities do not work properly. For example, in Whiterun you can travel without problems to the main Whiterun map marker or to Dragon's Reach, but if you travel to Jorrvaskr, you will be taken to the vanilla version of Whiterun, which is not the same of open cities. To get out of there is enough to travel to one of the usual map markers of these cities or in another place entirely. But there is an advantage to these pocket dimensions. In there you can use the dummies to train. Yep, this is the exploit I mentioned. If this annoys you, you can simply choose to not install one of the mods Open Cities or use Full Map Markers XB1. For this final section, let's go over a few technical details. Once you have installed all the mods, you need to set up the settings for many mods. After you get out of Helgen safely, you need to check out your books, your powers under magic, your alteration spells under magic, and the game's settings. Spell Siphoning is a complex magic book that helps you to learn advanced magic. I personally did not use it for my character, but it seems very deep as a content addition. Do what you prefer with the select class, just wait for it to load, it takes a few seconds. In Violence, you need to set yourself immune to kill moves, because other mods make them unbalanced against you. Go inside Customized Kill Moves and select Player Kill Move Immunity to turn it on. Under Alteration, you must configure the Ultimate Dodge mod as follows. General Settings, Sneak Style 2, which means if you don't have a weapon or a spell in your hands, you will crouch as normal. If you have a weapon or a spell in your hands and you are not moving, you will still crouch. If instead you have a weapon or a spell in your hand and move, you will dodge in that direction. Then for this same mod, you must also select the General Settings, Dodge Style, Sidestep only. Remember that these two things for the Ultimate Dodge mod are essential to fix bugs related to dodging. If you're stuck mid-air dodging, lower your weapons and set up these settings again. Oh, also, for this mod you can choose how much frequently NPCs dodge. From my experience it is best that they dodge with the lowest frequency, as it is reasonable for balance. Under Magic and Powers, you can find the option for Diverse Dragons Collection, in which you can choose which types of dragons spawn individually, or if you want to remove from spawning just lore unfriendly dragons. It is very important in this section that you also configure the settings for the Wildcat mod. There are a lot of settings to set up at once. Set everything as you prefer, but I strongly suggest to keep the dynamic combat, and when you are to the last questions, remove both times it is asked the additional 25% damage. I repeat, you will be asked twice for two different sources of additional 25% damage that you need to disable, or the game becomes too much difficult. Seriously, remove the 25% extra damage. Under Magic and Powers, you can also turn on or off Visible Favorited Gear, which will appear at all times on your character if turned on. Start the game at the lowest difficulty and turn it up parallel to your progress in the game for a fair experience. Remember to set LB for crouch and left stick for sprint. I played the game to test it out all weekend on Xbox Series X, and it ran perfect 90% of the time. There was a little stutter in some very rare occasions, and it is also almost free of crashes, as you are likely to experience just one every 9 hours. My favorite parts for this load order were the combat, the many new options for stealth, and most of all, triple triad card game. No kidding, play 3 or 4 matches and you'll love it too. I was also thinking to make a light version of this load order to make it a easier installation and setting up. Would you be interested in it? Don't forget to check out the demo in description, and also my Patreon if you want a better servers for your Skyrim and Fallout 4 mods load orders on Xbox. For any issue, leave a comment down below. Did you enjoy your time with the video? Leave a like if so, and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and game on!